scoreline in order. I feel like we have the old score still in here, so I'm just gonna get the scoreline sorted real quick. Oh man, it's kind of taking a while to load right now, honestly.
The advantage is yours.
And we will get started with the series. Adel will take over for a second. I just need to get some water, because this will be a lot of screaming this series, I feel.
Go ahead, Mike. I'll remind the audience to drop a like in this video now that you have a second with when Mike is going for his water, and we can see that it's actually starting. We will see who goes first. Goliath is first. He drops a defender to start. No, sorry. Cherry did start.
Okay, Adelbot, I am back. We are ready. How is this going?
Okay.
What can you tell me on the game state?
Went by. 2 turns went by, Mike.
Oh, okay. 2 character activations, actually. Oh,
Exactly,
right.
yes.
So, what do you read from
They are
this?
acting really fast. Oh, the mark.
Oh, it's
and
such
the
a heavy
count.
crit, though.
Yeah.
So you see, like, I feel like the daze, and then that is followed up by the Hound's Rush. So the question is, like, does Goliath run out of steam again? Because we saw him in a very similar position. Like, we saw him play against this defense-heavy composition, and he faltered as time passed by. So he was able to execute a single kill with that, but as time passed by, like, he slowly was whittled down. We can see this Abomination obviously not taking enough damage to go to 0 HP, right? The ABOM here by Cherry is at 1. So this might mean that, you know, a single more move is required, honestly, to take this character down to 0 HP. And this means, again, like, this gives such a huge momentum burst to Cherry, because she doesn't have to even go and play something aggressive here. Something defensive. She can just activate this Abomination, just drop perhaps the Beast Bile or Transform and Slam. You know, quite a lot of moves available at her disposal. So we shall see, indeed, what exactly comes out of this. We see a slam actually on this Highwayman. Kind of surprising to see this, honestly. And this again might mean that Goliath just goes for some scary damage move here, because you know, he might have been unable to use the Caltrops before. He might just be able to move forward again with the Duelist Advance and use the Caltrops later on. Also, Hound's Carry available, so you might just see, okay, the Advance actually does come forward. And we see the A-Bomb at 0 HP, so probably calls for another activation right away, just to heal the character back to full. What I'm surprised, by the way, is the fact that we do see the Occultist here by Claude Goliath picked again into this fight. Might be just the case that Goliath just, you know, is a big fan of the character. I'm not personally. How do you feel about the Occultists, Adelbot?
It's a difficult character to play, in my opinion. He can bring good things to the table, but his resistances and his stats are not that great sometimes against some of the other characters.
Because you don't really need debuff resistance on the Occultist, right? Because it doesn't quite defend you against that many skills. What you really want on the Occultist is that damage, like a lot of stress and also some sort of survivability, which he doesn't really have. His resistances to DOTs are very low. His movement resistance leaves a lot really to hope to bargain for, right? So a lot of kind of big deficiencies on this character. Obviously, double crit coming on this Abomination from Goliath. Look at this, he stressed this man so hard already. Oh, a stun is resisted. This is a very big opening right now to Goliath. And Goliath will take over, kill this Abomination right away. This is a huge lead coming into 10 number 2. 10 to kill, something that really is absolutely necessary for Goliath's composition, because it's quite slow. It takes time to wind up, and right now getting this kill means that obviously Cherry is at a slight disadvantage. And this Abomination obviously did get a single Hara rotation out, so it's not necessarily a disaster yet, because Cherry does still need to get another kill to kind of confirm. Sorry, Goliath does need another kill to kind of confirm his lead in this game. Again, there is a similar issue we had before. This Houndmaster in rank 4 is going to be quite a big issue. And honestly, just getting to this character is not going to be easy at all. You have 2 pools, mind you, so we can actually control this a bit better than Cetra could in the previous matchup against Cherry. But again, this Houndmaster, quite a potent character, brings a lot to the table, and also does Bellows, removing the damage from the Highwayman already by quite a significant amount means that this Hyman is not really going to be easy. So it's not going to be kind of bringing Cherry to consider whether she should be counter-harrying or not. We see a pushback on this this Crusader, which means there are no stuns available for the following turn. Also, the Crusader activation will come last. This Houndmaster, however, is guarded right now, which means that there is very little actually that can be done to the character again. So you cannot grade guard break with the characters Goliath has on this team, and this might mean that you just are forced to focus the Crusader perhaps, or just the MAA. However, when you have so much damage, against the MAA, it's not that effective, right? Because all those direct damage sources by Goliath here, they are kind of weak against the MAA unless you just debuff the protection quite heavily, right? We see actually a different skill use here. I think you just expect the debuff to come forward and just debuff the protection. He goes for dodge instead, and this might be okay. However, again, those bellows quite heavy. You see about maybe 60 minus 80% damage across the board here. So even a marked target will not really suffer this much damage. Actually, I'm kind of going to take this back. 24 is a shitload of damage, guys, and this means this MAA under heavy threat right now. He might go down quite soon. Honestly though, this Grave Robber here, sorry, this Harriman in the very front row, minus 60% damage, and also not really able to do anything, because he can only point blank shot from this position, I feel. Maybe we can slice as well, but what does he target, right? He might just target the Crusader here, because this is the only target he has available, and really not the optimal thing that you want to be hitting here. Cherry has to kind of pivot from there, though, because Cherry has been aiming to distress, and frankly, this is not going to cut it anymore. It feels like this is just kind of a lot of trouble, because she probably needs to start killing people instead of just doing pure stress. Otherwise, she just is not going to win. Sakrasta, by the way, this hook has been used throughout the tournament. It just gives you a lot in conjunction with the Houndmaster. Okay, people have been using this quite commonly actually on the ladder as well, so it's not a bad trinket choice at all. Probably suboptimal against the composition that Goliath has, because this is such a lot of physical damage coming into play. But overall, that's not such a bad trinket if you're just trying to maximize the stress, because it interacts with bleed in a beautiful way. And if you have a way of consistently dealing AoE bleed, which Houndmaster obviously brings to the table, you can actually do so much more over the course of a fight. So I have to agree, this is not the best trinket overall, but it's just kind of a decent one.
There can be no hope in this hell.
Again, so what do you make of this Adelbert? What do you make of this game?
Yeah. Well, now let's see if Goliath can capitalize on that death door with his Houndmaster, his bounty hunter.
Yeah, so
because he went quick for the first of Cherry's characters, but now the stress on his side is piling up quite a lot, despite the fact that the Abomination went down without transforming for the second time. So let's see. Goliath had taken the lead first, but now I am not so sure anymore. The debuffs are huge as well.
Yeah, absolutely, right?
Apart from the stress and the horror, well, the horror will live, but let's see.
Yeah, so another issue is Cherry has basically to pick right now. Does she? Oh, she has already picked. So she goes for damage. Sorry, she goes for healing and sorry, I'm wrong here. Goliath has to choose, right? I'm a bit tired, guys. Sorry, excuse me. So Goliath has to choose between healing and actually going for damage. She could have potentially tried to kill this MAA from the get-go, right? Also, Cherry goes for an aggressive play here, so she decides to do damage, which means this Houndmaster obviously takes a riposte, eats it to the face, and this means, again, that perhaps Goliath is in a prime position to just take over the game. Because very soon there's going to be this BH being able to activate, and this might mean the end of the MAA. We can also see a wicked slide perhaps from this Highwayman. I think it cannot target the fair draw. What can target for draw, however, is the Vendetta. He uses this is advanced going through, and this doesn't kill. Was quite likely to actually work for Goliath. It didn't in the end, and this actually means that this MAA here still alive, 60% death blow resistance, quite healthy at that. Obviously a single death blow away by this MAA, so you might want to heal this right now if you're Cherry, right? You might just want to heal this MAA a little bit, kind of prolong his lifespan, allow him to drop another bellow perhaps, maybe even drop a guard. Cherry goes aggressive though, this doesn't pay dividends.
The aggressive play doesn't work out, and let's see now.
This was a very risky one, because
or we will see a killing blow.
It probably will be a killing blow, so it's actually kind of unfortunate doing this for Cherry, because this is a dead MAA. She wastes a turn of the potentially alive MAA. She could have just used the Crusader to heal first, there's nothing stopping her from, continuing the onslaught then. But there is still a Zeus accusation on the cast. Does it kill 2? It doesn't actually kill anybody. This is such a huge turn of events. Obviously the horror comes through, the stress comes through, and this BH is dropping dead. But at the very same time, look at this. You hear this, oh, this is refused as well. Such an unfortunate thing for Goliath here. You might want to pull the Houndmaster forward right now just to secure a kill on the guy, because this also means that, he can also disable the Crusader from doing the attack on the front line. It's kind of a very big omission, I feel, by Goliath there, because he could have just actually dropped this Houndmaster to row number 2, moving the Crusader to third, meaning he no longer either stun or drop this as accusation of the front line of Goliath. Right now Goliath is in a lot of trouble. You have to feel like Cherry, despite taking such heavy losses here, still in a driver's seat here. Like, she has a healthy MAA in the back. No longer there's no longer access to Goliath as far as trying to take down this MAA goes. And honestly, 1 damage just doesn't quite cut it, guys. It doesn't quite cut it, quite literally. So, and we see this, we see this Crusader actually just being such a healthy tank. Those Bellow debuffs will slowly go away, but you just have to feel this is too little, too late, right? So this Crusader delivers a killing blow potentially, or maybe even the Houndmaster does. And this just might mean the Crusader taking over the game completely. This is a hard attack as well. No, actually, I'm wrong here. And this is looking quite fine, honestly, for Cherry here, because it will take a lot of time right now for for those Bellow stacks to just completely wear off, and there is not that much damage for Goliath left. You have to kind of wonder what exactly the purpose of this Occultist on this composition is. Why not simply take an Arbalest instead of, if the only deal this character has in this game is basically to heal and to mark, right? You can do those 2 things with the Arbalest just so much more efficiently, because you can also clear all the debuffs and remove the stun. So this is why perhaps the Occultist doesn't quite have an established position in the meta, because he just doesn't stand out in any way or form. Instead, he's kind of the secondary choice, just because of a number of characters that just do his job better. Obviously, the pool is quite a big deal, but again, BH just pulls and does so much more damage and has so much more pressure in the game altogether.
Yeah. The amount of stress on Goliath's side might be too much for coming back. I'm not sure there is a coming back from that. Let's just see.
Okay.
Yeah, but the act-out's gonna be on his side, so Waranji may not be with him, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, by the way, in the chat, I'd like to quit the bullshit about, stipulating that Cherry might be cheating or Sis might be giving her advice. Anybody who is participating, we just assume that people have some sort of integrity, okay? Because it's kind of any of you could be just watching your own stream, just listening to the podcast and getting additional opinion from 2 very experienced casters as to what you should be doing. So there's basically no way to tell what you guys were doing. I don't know if you, Mangle, for instance, were not watching the stream as well, because you could have as well been doing this. So there is no way of telling if you guys were not cheating either. So there's no reason to be stipulating that Cherry is cheating as well. This is such a shitty thing to say, guys. Seriously, there's just no way to kind of assess what people are doing, and I feel like Cherry is just such a good player. It's kind of a very bad thing to say. I would just never risk saying this.
It is disrespectful, right?
Yeah, because honestly, any of you, like Adelbart could have been watching the games, like listening to casters, both of us, like me and Sis, obviously Darkest One. So you guys could have just listened to us and, taken a lot of advice from there, or at least kind of, this could have influenced your decision making. So we just take it for granted that everybody plays it safe. Right, just something that I'd like to highlight here, so there is no reason to be stipulating otherwise. And I know Cherry is a good player myself, so there is like no reason to be kind of taking this against her.
So okay, let's just comment on the end. Or what
of Goliath. Yeah, this is the end of Goliath in this series. I mean, not in this series, in this match at least, right? So this game is definitely going Cherry's way here. She's been able to control this, and she is definitely just kind of slowly but steadily inching forward, and that's just looking very good for her overall. Yeah, she just took over this. Like the stress comp again, you have to really take the driver's seat in the game if you want to be successful against this sort of play, against stress, right? And this damage composition by Goliath probably kind of runs out of steam very easily. obviously this Occultist is not the optimal choice because it just, you take Occultist, this means you are lacking a very, very serious damage source, guys. So that's probably the reason why Goliath is in such a dire spot here again. I feel like he likes this composition, but this comp just doesn't bring that much to the table overall. You just have to feel like, you know, this is just, might be like a compositional mismatch overall. Like, we saw him pull this composition off 2 times already. This has not worked out once. You got kind of smacked on the face both times. Like, he lost a lot of momentum in the game against CEST, like very, very quickly into the game. He killed one and then just straight away lost the game. And it feels like this is the same deal here. He took out a single character by Cherry quite quickly, and then it just went downhill from there. So it just feels like, yeah, this is just exactly what's happening here. Cherry just superior, like, obviously she has been playing very, very well here, but again, the compositional advantage here by Cherry is also quite a big deal. So Cherry, very clean game here again coming into this matchup. You have to like consider her as potentially a second player leaving the group even, because she did take Cetra down. She is close to taking Goliath down, right? And this might mean that, you know, the Cetra versus CEST match actually might define the entire series here, like might define the entire group. So let's just kind of give players some breathing room right now. We'll head into the picks and bans, and obviously Cherry no longer able to use this composition that we call the Zetus comp, and that is called Stolen from CEST here. And this basically means that we are down to 2 compositions by Cherry and 3 compositions by Goliath. We just have to wonder if Goliath just kind of is going to be, you know, stubborn enough to just rely on the very same comp once again, or whether he just pivots a little bit and makes a very different choice here. What do you think, Adelbert? What would you do if you're a Goliath right now coming into this series?
I'm unsure the single stress comp of Goliath can be fast enough to deal with the finale that Cherry will bring to the table in the next round, right?
Yeah, obviously, because she has no other choice. She has to bring the finale.
So, well, let's see. Let's see if he will rearrange or change his choice based on that.
Yeah.
Or let's see what he will work out to oppose the 2 compositions that Cherry can only choose now.
Yeah, we're actually going to the game straight away. Those guys are so quick. Like, those guys and girls actually are so quick. And we see Goliath versus Cherry. Obviously, Cherry with a single-digit lead right now. Best of 3, so a single game may divide Goliath from just dropping out of the tournament altogether. Kind of a scary position to be in if you're Goliath, honestly. So Goliath is indeed 0-1. I'm just going to adjust the scoreboard real quick, guys. I don't know why, but my Streamlabs is going quite slow right now, so it might take a while. I might just kind of have to restart the entire software between the following games. So we see a very quick pull, by the way, by Goliath here on this Arbalest. Yeah. It's kind of very similar, remarkably similar to the matchup that Goliath played against CEST, because those are very similar comps. And right now, again, this is another Occultist composition, by the way. I don't really like the Occultist at all. What do you make of this? Why is he using the Occultist? It's like, he's so stubborn to be dropping those Occultist comps in.
He can help prevent the finale with the pull.
Yeah, true.
However, I don't see how he can help bring the Jester down before deploying this finale. So it's too defensive from my point of view. From my point of view, as much as I don't find the Arbalest without this enough defensive enough, I'm unsure about the pull of the Occultist.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really liking this from Cherry because she knew what Goliath might bring, right? She knew there's going to be at least 2 compositions that have both stun and a pull. She didn't respect that. She's gonna get punished heavily for this as well. So we see Reign of Circus coming down from Cherry herself, but this is going to be followed up by, you know, the potentially, you know, this Arbalest being just indefinitely locked down here. And that's kind of an awkward play as well by Goliath. He's going for stress here, which is kind of not really the name of the game for the rest of his composition, right? This Shield Breaker not really the best stress dealer in the world. Obviously she controls the fight, but I don't know if this buys enough time for Goliath to actually just do enough.
The buffoon is flummoxed.
Yeah, and the first round, the dodge buff for the Jester did not help get that on target.
So Cherry actually goes for solo here. It's such a strange play as well. So this does something very... Okay, that's a very decent play, honestly, because this moves. This is a kind of heads-up play, because this does move the Obelisk to third. The only character that can stun the Obelisk right now is this Abomination, who doesn't actually get that done. However, you can actually consider the fact that, you know, this Obelisk is in row 3 right now, kind of a temporary deal, because you still have like 2 characters very capable of moving things. Both the Occultist and the Shieldbreaker here, like, they have so much tech as far as moving people goes. So this is not the end of this pool. Like, probably this Obelisk will never ever get to use a sniper shot this game, unless Cherry just goes for it right now. Which she doesn't, by the way. He drops... Actually, yeah, there's a come hither dropping on the Occultist here. This is kind of a decent play, honestly, because this does indeed push the Abomination to 4th, and there is no real way for Goliath to push this Abom back without just wasting a turn. Also, a move is resisted. This is such a huge deal, because this means this Obelisk can actually move back to 4th and remain relatively safe for the duration of this fight. Obviously, again, like, I mean, Cherry doesn't do this yet. She goes through Punish. She might just be aiming to just get a killing blow of this Occultist from the get-go. Yeah, there's so much damage, honestly. This might be the deal, right? She might just kind of be pressing the button here just to go offensive, go ballistic on this Occultist, indeed, using this Obelisk here. Hope you guys got that. And we will get a healing, but that's just not gonna be enough, right? We see the Obelisk again dropping the sniper shot potentially. You have to consider she does have the yeah, that's the right turn of events for Cherry. She just waits the stun out first, because she just wants to make the most use of the Tiller here. Tiller is an item that gets more effective if you go last. So right now the Cherry is just going to capitalize on that buff here, and she's going to do a lot of damage to this Occultist. You just have to feel this will be a 50-50 execute coming into turn number 2. Obviously Cherry is still able to heal this. However, what Goliath did, not really willingly so, I feel, was pushing this Jester to front, and the Jester can finale anyone right now. Honestly, like, the damage from the from the finale is going to be 40% right now. Actually, that's not that much. So perhaps this is kind of a safe Occultist unless she activates him from the get-go, which she probably unless Goliath just activates it from the get-go, which he doesn't do. He pulls the Obelisk forward again. This doesn't work. You have to feel this kind of unfortunate because Goliath has the net. The Rage net here does indeed provide you with quite a decent bonus movement. Yeah, and 20%. This Obelisk actually resisting those moves is very detrimental. I'm kind of surprised that, she does actually resist those 2 moves. She gets a sniper shot that's so dangerous right now. You have to be like, Goliath actually may have losses in the dice roll here. Such an unlikely situation. And this is just going to be the finale. You just have to feel this is the finale. This is game over again.
Yeah, let's see. This might be.
It looks so dire for Goliath right now. Let's just face the facts. Like, this is just Cherry activating this Jester, dropping the finale on the head of this Occultist. You can also just wait this out because you have like only a single active healer, so you can just punish. You can just get a Derek Stab off even. You can just play this slow.
Teetering on the brink, facing the abyss.
So it's super scary. Like, this is such a bad spot for Goliath again. Like, Cherry is just taking over this game in such a dominant fashion, and it just feels so bad.
Yeah, now he surrenders his Occultist, right?
Yeah, it's also like such a bad turn order as well, because this means that if the Crusader chooses to go forward with the Lance right now, this again disables the Abomination. This pulls the Abomination into position number 3. Also, he sacrifices the Occultist at the same time. This is very suboptimal play.
Killed, right?
Yeah.
With the Crusader, the Occultist, but still, the Jester was likely to, or even the Jester could hit with the Dirk Stab and then finish him.
Yeah, you feel like Goliath is just making so many bad moves this time. Like, it feels like, again, it is just a dead Abomination next turn. There's very little recourse for Goliath, really. So, yeah, Cherry just took over this game entirely, so. The push comes through, the Jester lands in third, but this is still just too little too late, as we like to say here. Guys, you can cross this out on your bingo boards. We are seeing Cherry go 2-0 in the series, and also most likely seeing her to go 2-0 in the series, and at the same time going 2-0 in the tournament.
Taking the lead.
Yeah, so it's going to be 2-0 to Cherry, it's going to be 2-0 to CEST as well. That's kind of scary for the rest of the players in the group, because you may just see the couple actually taking over the entire tournament at this point. So Goliath doesn't quite clutch it here. It seems like, yeah, he's just going from bad to worse. Like his
And
situation.
the dodge does not help him, yes.
No, this situation is not improving over time. It's just getting really poor. And yeah, Cherry is just in such a dominant position right now.
Yeah, and she has not even dropped the finale, so
Yeah,
he could even move one of her characters and drop it anytime.
yeah, absolutely. This could be indeed the case. So A-Bomb is gonna die, maybe from the BH even, because there is nothing that can protect the guy right now. And the finale still stays on the cards. It's such a crazy spot for Cherry. Like, she has such an insane lead right now. So we see the Impale come through, perhaps? Now we
Let's
see
now.
Pool.
Yeah,
Actually,
now it
that's
goes
a
and
pool.
Death's Door. Probably a good move.
Yeah, that's just a pull from the shield breaker here. And yeah, still such a dire spot for Goliath.
Yeah.
Cherry is just in such an excellent spot. The A-Bomb is absolutely dead. 2v4 against a composition with a finale available still. Man, you just have to feel this is over. I mean, obviously can Impale right now just get a single kill on the Arbalest, but does it really matter at this point? I don't think it does. Also, this Jester solos, moves forward. This again means that finale is going to be available to him next turn. There's so little he can do to prevent this. Like, nothing can prevent the finale right now. It's just going to be a dead shield breaker most likely, right? We might see like probably a heal as well. I mean, Cherry can play this saber. She can just heal, play this slow and steady. And as Pyromaniac has said, good night, sweet prince. Goliath might be just out of contention here because you have two players who went 2-0 right now, and Goliath is at best going to be 1-2, so he's probably just automatically eliminated from being able to advance anymore. Or we have two players who went 2-0, so this means there's like no possible situation, there's no possible world in which Goliath does advance. There is still a world, however, for Cetra to take over the series against Sis and perhaps equalize the situation, then maybe take over Cherry here. But that's such an unlikely scenario as well. It's like, yeah, Cherry might just be in a prime position to just take over the entire tournament against Sis. So obviously
Well, if she can actually finish this game, which she has looking very well to her, yeah, 2 victories, I think they would ensure at least the first or second spot, right?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So 2 victories almost ensuring that, especially that she has a head-to-head victory against Cetra. So I don't know what it would take actually for Cetra to win to take this bracket still. I mean, no, Cetra can still actually, no, there is a way, because Cetra can still win against Sis, and this means that Cetra does indeed, and Cetra has to win against Sis and Goliath.
Well.
And then he will be at an advantage against Sis. Sis might not advance then. Like, this is actually, I feel like Cherry might be more likely to advance than Sis is at this point. So she's almost guaranteed to move forward.
Well, we will see. We shall see, right?
So it's actually like this is a game, like this tournament defining a series for Cetra against Sis at the very end of the day.
Oh, is it? Oh, at the end of the day, okay.
Yeah, I think this is the case.
I think this is gonna be a really interesting match.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it will also take Cherry to winning against Sis, I think. Then Sis is gonna be eliminated. So Cherry has to win against Sis, and then as well, on top of everything, Cetra has to take a game from... Cetra has to win against Sis as well. Wait, no, that's wrong, because they have played already, haven't they? So no, Cetra has...
well, we shall see, but
yeah, I have to look at the bracket, actually,
if
because I'm kind of
Cherry
confused
takes
now.
this victory, she will be in a good position.
Yeah.
The other opponents will have to take that into account.
Yeah, absolutely,
Certainly,
absolutely.
when they regard their chances to move on to the semifinals.
Yeah, because Cetra only played 1 series here, I think, because we had Goliath versus Sis. Yeah, so Cetra has to win 2 series right now in order to be able to advance at all. So he has to take Cherry down. No, he has to take both Goliath and Sis down in order to be able to actually move forward. And I think you will be casting the next game as well. You'll be casting the game of with Sis, where we will see the deciding matchup. Right, it's gonna be Goliath, I think, versus. It might be Goliath versus Cetra then, in the following map, in the follow-up match from this one. And this will basically define the tournament life of both players there.
I can check that for you, Mike, if you need.
Yeah,
if you need me to.
Because I will need to rest, so it's gonna be you and Sis. I feel Sis is just gonna come up and cast with us. Sniper shot comes like this is just a dead freaking Crusader right now. This Jester is just going to take him down, shred him to pieces, unless a stun comes down onto this Jester here. You just have to feel like this is the only possible resolution here. It doesn't quite like look too likely to me, to be frank. It's just, I mean, I'm quiet, I know guys, but it's just not looking too great for Goliath in this one, to be honest. He picked those compositions, he's not performing to the level you'd expect at all. And Cherry is just smashing people left and right here. Honestly, Cherry is just smashing people left and right, guys. This is just such an impressive situation. This Crusader, but look at this 15% death blow resistance, man. Still alive. This is some sort of a record. Like, Goliath is going for an achievement here. Oh man, he marks like Cherry. So Cherry just marks this. I feel like this is kind of disrespect from Cherry. It's like, you know what, man? Oh no, she actually has no other way to do damage here, other than just marking this. So yeah, she just does the only move she has available there with the BH, because she has no longer caltrops available, I feel. So yeah, slow and steady does it for Cherry, and Goliath is most likely to go down here. Yeah, and we have this Jester here, Dex subbing again, just leaving the finale for the end of the fight. It's just like having the finale available at the end of the fight is just such a big deal, right? Just yeah, this Jester will probably just finale the shield breaker, and this will be the concluding moment of the matchup here. So this Arbalest jumps to position 4 right now, then the BH moves forward, drops some damage on this shield breaker of Goliath, and that's just gonna be curtain call later. You just have to feel this is just so over. Axon actually misses. Man, is this gonna be this kind of crazy moment where the shield breaker just breaks the entire system of RNG of Bo3 Circus and just takes over and wins? Because I feel this might still be on the cards. Like, obviously kind of exaggerating here. Not too likely to happen. I've actually seen shield breakers pull crazy stuff off. So you might just want to be healing. Yeah, exactly. So Cherry does the right thing. She doesn't want to risk it entirely. And yeah, she just heals and takes the safe path to victory. Yeah, Mark for Death actually lowers your devil resistance, by the way. This is something people don't really note too often. Like, people don't take this into account, but this is such a powerful skill, especially in conjunction with the Jester's finisher and the Dex, which can guarantee kills almost on marked targets if they are indeed debuffed by this Mark for Death. So I don't think people are utilizing this ability much enough, and there's just such a strange context for it, because like we have seen people just unable to target their opponents with the Arbalest just because they didn't have the Mark for Death in their previous matches in this tournament. Nobody has actually learned their lesson yet, except for Cherry here. So I'm very happy she's doing the right thing here. She's going for... I have no idea what she's actually gonna do here. Like, she's gonna sniper shot this actually. This will drop this shield breaker out of Aegis very soon. Oh, again, like she could have just... Oh, that's such a big mistake, honestly. She could have just bowled out of that. Or bowl out, and then you just get a hit with the BH, because right now there is no way for the characters of Cherry to actually finish the job. Oh, by the way, yeah, this shield breaker is called Cherry, as Dinobug has noticed. A kind of funny turn of events here for us.
It doesn't seem there is a way back for Goliath, right, Mike?
Yeah,
this game may drag on a little bit still.
Now, it's kind of a shame she didn't get the finishing blow here yet, because she could have just done this. She can also, like, she's spamming those marks where she can just be moving the BH forward and just getting the death blow done from, almost immediately. So not the case here at all. She goes for Exsanguinate as well as dodge once again. Man, can the shield breaker actually do? I mean, she can't do this statistically speaking, but she can just prolong this fight by quite a bit still. Yeah, this is death blow as well, so this Jester not gonna get the finale of it all. And I feel like this is just sloppy execution from Cherry coming into this end of this matchup, right? She's just making quite a few mistakes. Probably the nerves come in, like she's just trying to get the kill, and it doesn't quite seem to work for her at all. Also, this Legend quite heavily debuffed right now, so she has to just get the kill with other means right now. This shield breaker, like, surprisingly sturdy, honestly, in this. in this match. But seriously, this feels like a decently large misplay by Cherry. She could have just finished this match like 2 turns away. 2 turns ago, right? This is something that people just sometimes do. They get the game, they're able to get the game to the end point, and then they just kind of falter and fall short when it comes to concluding, to kind of, you know, to basically closing it out. So Punish comes down again, kind of strange not seeing the heal here, because, you know, Cherry might still lose another character here before the killing blow comes down, but again, there's like no way for the shield breaker to survive the following turn. You have to feel like she's just completely and absolutely dead, guys. Right?
Even if the president had fallen.
Yeah, that BH just gets the kill and this is it, right? That's just all there is. She has very low death blow resistance because of those marks as well, so it's just a confirmed kill for this BH. So unlikely not to go through. 20% dodges doesn't do it, and she is going to win this 2-0. And Cherry is taking a commanding lead in the tournament, guys. With this victory, Cherry is indeed going to earn her spot here. She's going to go 2-0 in this series. Let's just have a look at the stats so we can kind of do the maths. Congratulations to Cherry as well, and I'm kind of sorry for Goliath because he is in a very bad spot right now. I don't think he has a way of going back into this tournament as well, because he is he's seriously behind everybody else at this point. So you can see the group stage here. As far as the points go, I'm just going to update the statistics here. Let me just get to the numbers, and we have Cherry 2-0 in the tournament right now. She has won 2 series. One is 1-2, the other is 2-0. Cetra now has to win both his series and possibly 2-0 in both cases in order to be able to qualify for the semifinals. Which is kind of a scary prospect for the man who has to face CEST. So GG's to Cherry, absolutely wonderful games, guys. And you have to just believe she is performing so incredibly well. She might just be able to leave the group almost undefeated in the series. She might just, you know, she might be just a good, perfect fit, perfect match for CEST himself. And that's just so exciting to see this. So we see Goliath versus Cetra right now. So the guys have to be setting up. Goliath could stay in the match as well. Goliath drops AGGs, by the way, to Cherry. I think she gets the message as well. So right now, it is going to be Goliath. So I'm just going to ask Goliath to stay. And we will see.
It has been a really good performance by Cherry, Mike. She has taken the victory 0-2. And yeah, I think taking the lead with 2 victories by halfway. Yeah, this
that's
is
just almost
a good position to be in, certainly. The pressure is in the other opponents. And yeah, almost, it's not guaranteed to have at least the second spot, but
yeah, it's very close. Like, she's a single matchup away from that, and it is a match against CEST though, so it's a big one. And we'll see Goliath versus Set right now. CEST, can you please join me on the cast, because I am really dying right now. I need a single match. Like, I need some respite here. So we'll get CEST. CEST, are you there, man?
Yeah. What do you want, sorry, pal? I just heard you say my name like 5 times.
Sorry, can you say, because they're so somewhat quiet actually.
Hello,
brother. What do you want from me?
Can you cast the series between Goliath and Cetra right now?
I'll be with you, sis. I'll be right next to you.
Okay, let's go, boys. Also, just let me say, look at Cherry go. Look at her go.
Oh yeah.
Everyone doubted her taking it home. This is an esport for women, Mike. This is an esport for women.
I mean, any esport is for women, honestly.
Yeah.
You have to believe that.
It's for everybody, of course.
Yeah.
Well, I guess from certain age, right? Because of the bleeds and blights.
I feel like it's just a gender stereotype, you know, preventing women from excelling at esports. So we'll probably see some esports women coming into the future of esports, right?